skateboard park is a massive sculpture, but of a different kind. It is one that is meant to be used as well as observed. These sculptures are structural systems, and like all structural systems, must have their support in firm earth. The earth must be made to have a sympathy with the sculpture. It must be sloped and made suitable for the sculpture to rest on. The first step in this process is to clear away organic matter, laying bare the earth that is to be worked with. A sculptor's tools are his hands. In large earth sculptures, such as this one, the tools have to take the form of large earth-moving machines. These machines function in the same way as the sculptor's hands, taking away and filling in, taking away and filling in. So the transition from hands to machine is easily made. The sculptor is working with is a living organism that moves and fluctuates. The secret then is to build a structure that can flex with the earth to a certain extent. So as not to overextend the structure's flexibility, you dig until you find soil that is less volatile than the humus and topsoil on the surface. From there you can begin to form the base upon which you build the foundation. When the subsoil is ready to build upon, the sub-foundation is laid. In this case, it is compacted sand and gravel. With the sub-foundation in place, the structure can be blocked out and the first stage begun. The sculptor on a project like this must assume the role that was taken by the ancient architects and the classical sculptors. That is, the master of crafts, working alongside the best workmen and using their tools, but also directing the production of something out of the ordinary that will have grace and beauty. Sculpture is a process of adding, then taking away, adding, then taking away, until you finally feel you are close to the elusive perfect line or form. For the more critical excavation and earth forming, the sculptor has to change his tools. The extension of his hands now becomes a backhoe. The use of this machine requires a high degree of skill and precision, as often the backhoe operator must work to a specific curve suggested by a hand movement. Given the high degree of precision required in developing this form of structure, the use of templates becomes a valuable tool. They are very useful as guides, and they are the only practical way to interpret working drawings to all of the workers. After the backhoe has created a close approximation to the final form, it is fine-tuned with rakes and shovels. This portion of the job is the longest and most tedious of all, and one of the most critical. Also, it is when the sculptor comes closest to using his normal tools, his hands. The final forming process is a very gentle one, where the sculptor's sympathy for the dynamic flowing of the skater is most telling. The steel grid, the skeleton of the structure, is laid directly on the ground, where it passively follows the contours established by the earthen forms. Wave formations are a common occurrence. They appear at the point of interface, defined as a path of energy following the line of least resistance between opposing forces during a period of transition. A skatepark's form, when finished, must illustrate this web of stress curves in the form of parabolic and hyperbolic surfaces at varying radii at various points of intersection. The steel grid is sprayed with concrete under pressure. This is a very effective method in covering large curvilineal areas. It is, however, an unsatisfactory and somewhat brutal surface.